All right, today I'm going to be going over Goal 17, Partnership for the Goals. And this will be with, as it has been, the United States with Japan or versus Japan. So the first one we can look at is government revenues as a share of the GDP from 2000 to 2021. So the data for this indicator is shown in the interactive visualization. This is because budgetary accounts may not include all central governments, and they usually provide an incomplete picture. So as we see, the United States, the tax of social contribution, other revenues such as fund, rent, and income from property or sales tax. As you can see, the United States is a little higher for a while, or actually it's always been higher, and then it slowly drops down under Japan since 2021. So we go down here, we can see the share of central government expenditures funded by taxes. So as we see, the United States is at 47%, while the Japan is at 48%. So they're pretty even. The United States is 90% lower than Japan, but not much, or not 90%, sorry, 0.90%. And this portion of the domestic funded by domestic taxes in the UN SDG framework, the target is to strengthen domestic resource mobilization to improve domestic capacity for tax and other revenue collection across all countries by 2030. Okay, and then we can see it here at the net official development assistance. So this is a net official development assistance from the OECD Development Assistance Committee donors as a percentage of their gross national income. As you can see, America has a very small proportion of 0.18% going all the way from 2000 to 2017. And then you have Japan, which is only 0.23%. So once again, they're really close. The United States is a little lower than Japan, but much of a difference. And the target is developed countries to implement fully their official development assistance committees, including the commitment by many developed countries to achieve the target by 70 cents per or 0.7% of gross national income. Then we can see here we have the foreign direct investment net outflows as share of GDP. If you look here, we can see the United States has a 1.81% of GDP, while Japan has a little higher, which is almost double, a little less than double, like 2.7% increase, which is 3.03% in Japan. So their target is to mobilize additional financial resources for developing countries from multiple sources. And after a few of those, we can go here over to partnership for the goals. So if we go here, let's go click on this one. Thing first. One sec. While that's loading, we can look at this graph too. The countries assigned bilateral investment treaty. Countries assigned bilateral investment treaties from 1959 to 2021 is, as you can see, we can see that development regions. See, there we go. Development regions has increased tremendously versus least developed countries. And let's see if we can find anything else. Edit countries and regions. So let's go here. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go. As you can see, Japan and United States are very fairly even with all this. Is landline internet subscriptions per 1,000 people from 1998 to 2021. America and Japan are very close. The United States is always a little higher, but not much more. So we can reach the goals together. Slowly let this load. See our last bit we'll talk about. Partnerships for these goals. The global will tackle the biggest, most complicated issues and world goals that are impossible to achieve without people coming together as a global community. So that is why this partnership is great, because people that work together are much better than people that work solo. And successful sustainable development requires collaboration and commitment among governments. And that will conclude everything. I'll go through this a little more. The last thing I want to talk about is more than half the world's population, 3.9 billion people now have internet access, and technology bank has been formed for the least developed countries, which is great. So yeah, I'll conclude off of that to end this before it goes over 5 minutes. Thanks for listening.